All right. Back once again with DO Behavior. This is DO Bill, and welcome to the Chill with Bill show. Hey, Fresh and Fit Miami. Should men get vasectomies in their 20s? This one's a hot debate, and I have my own take, but let's go ahead and hear what Sneako got to say.
Your Fresh and Fit's take on this. There's 15,000 men watching for the most part. Should men in their 20s get a vasectomy?
Personally, I would say, looking at it from a holistic standpoint, I get what Rolo's saying for the whole topic itself of being high value, because once again, if you get a woman pregnant that's not there for you, she could be against you and it could turn into many different things. But personally, like I was saying earlier, for me, I do want a family. If I meet the right woman, I think is going to raise that child. But for most men, do they have the, I want to say, resources to find a woman that they want of their dreams, or even get the right woman? Probably not. So to be safe, vasectomy might be in their best interest.
So yes.
No, I'm saying, okay, so
it's a yes or no.
It depends on the individual. That's what I'm saying. So it's up to the man to decide for himself. But I'm just saying, generally for me, I think family is very important. But I understand why most men might not want that, because finding a woman that's actually good for you may be kind of hard. So I get
a little bit.
In America specifically.
In America, yeah.
In America, to be specific.
What do you think?
Let's get the ladies' takes on it, and then I'll give my opinion, because I don't want to corrupt them with my take.
Okay.
All right, ladies. Let's make this a little bit more engaging. Let's say you have a son. He's 21 years old, building up a business, whatever it may be, is becoming somewhat successful. Actually, you know what? Let's say 30 years old, because let's be honest, 21-year-old guy is fucking useless. He ain't doing nothing with life. So 30-year-old guy, building up a business. He's on his way to becoming successful.
That's an L. Myron just changed the question. Okay, there's a huge difference between a 21-year-old starting off and then a 30-year-old, right? Because a 30-year-old, you know, he might start to be getting to make some money. You know, he's already been out on the prowl. He's had a bunch of fun. Maybe went to college. You know what I mean? Did all this stuff. Like at that point, you know, if he had a kid at 30, 31, 32, whatever, it's all good. Like this is not a bad time to have a kid. At 20, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's not a good time to have a kid for a man, right? Because that's the time you're supposed to be grinding and kind of figuring your stuff out. So he just changed the question. I don't like that he did that. I'm not really sure how this is going to play out, but again, I'll kind of give my take on the question here in a bit, but I just wanted to point that out.
Should he have a vasectomy, knowing how women move nowadays and how girls can trap guys? Should he have a vasectomy? We could start on the couch and then work our way. What are your thoughts to protect himself?
If he's really successful, I mean, I've seen men get trapped, so I'd probably be more prone to saying yes if he was, like a target. But on the whole, I think no.
Okay.
No, I would
No?
tell my
Okay.
son completely no
Okay.
to not do that.
Fair.
Honestly, if they don't want to have children, then yeah. But I think that every man should be able to like decide if they want to have a children or not.
All right.
And it's like important. So I don't think so, honestly.
Okay.
Like you can just find women that follow your values in another part of the world, as you said. Like,
All right. So you're
it
saying
doesn't
you just go somewhere else.
yeah, just like go somewhere.
But what if
where-
they decide to stay in the States?
Honestly, I still think that there's women out there that can be like mother
Okay.
like
What about you?
material.
Honestly, if he wants to, then that's fine with me. But can't you get a vasectomy undone?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. Like
You
if
could also
do it, yeah.
detransition after becoming trans.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like, but you don't
Yeah.
ever want people to do that in the first place. Like you're messing up your body. Once you take puberty blockers,
Real.
you can go off them, but there's going to be a physical difference.
exactly. I mean, if he wants to take that risk, I don't really care because I know that they be getting like some girls be lying, doing other shit, and like he's trapped now, and then they take all his shit and then leave. So I'm not opposed to it at all,
yeah.
actually.
All right. What about you?
I would say no, but I mean,
Okay.
it's their choice.
All right.
Like, I would hope that I raise them like a good, like they have a good sense of moral and they'd be able to pick the right, like, woman.
Okay. What about you?
I think it depends on a lot of like what his lifestyle is. Like if
Oh no, I hit the button. Here, hold on. I gotta figure that out. See, sometimes that happens, and I just I hit the wrong button. It's somewhere in here. Again, I'm gonna actually give my opinion on this here in just a second. But we can see it does not matter. It's not about picking the right woman. There is no right woman. there's circumstance and happenstance, and 20 years is a long damn time. We just saw again. I'm talking about Kevin Costner, right? 18-year marriage, right? What's his name? Steven Crowder, right? Long ass marriage. Like things can change quickly. Here, let's see. I'm sorry. I think I might have messed this up.
Yeah.
Then I would say, okay, there's like there's like ways that you can use instead of a vasectomy to avoid
Cool.
the baby, but I have also heard of like women trapping men and things like that. But I feel like it's up to him. Like if he thinks like, no, I'm gonna get trapped. Like I'm getting like I'm meeting new women and I'm doing this and I'm like, having intimate moments with them, then you know what? Do what you want to do, what makes you happy. And
So
regarding
yes or no?
I feel like it's just up to him. Like if he want
What advice would you give him though?
I would say
As the mom.
as the mom of my son, I would say like don't go around, sticking it in whatever and whoever. Like why don't you if you're so focused on, starting a family or, you want to grow, why are you, giving time and energy into things that are just gonna be gone in the next morning?
Based.
Okay, so I'll take that as a no. What about you?
No, I think there's
Okay.
still a lot of women with values and that can like be a good mothers and stuff like that here in Florida.
Are there any on this podcast? Just asking.
Okay. In Florida?
Well, you say Florida, right?
Okay.
Because she's
Well, I mean in the United States.
oh, well, yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I wouldn't want him to. I would just tell him to work on his discernment as far as who he's having sex with.
Mhm.
But if he made the decision to have sex with somebody unprotected or whatever happens, then he has to live with those consequences.
All right. What about you?
I personally would tell him I wouldn't want him to do it, but like you can't really control what happens. Things happen. And yeah, that's what they have to live with and they have to deal with that and provide for that child and you always just have to be careful.
Okay.
I mean, at his big age, I feel like he should know the consequences of doing something like that or not. I would definitely advise him against it because, like you were saying, puberty blockers and all that, like once you do something to your body, it's very hard. I mean, impossible to reverse anything that you've done. So, I mean, hopefully I would have raised him to where he would make that decision and, it would be sound on his part, but I would advise him against it.
Your advice? Okay.
I just got to get in the middle of this. They keep talking about puberty blockers. That's what happens when you take that kind of stuff when you're, going through puberty, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever the thing is. They're talking about a 30-year-old man right now. So none of this applies, right? With that being said, I do believe that when you get a vasectomy, it changes like the testosterone levels in your body. I don't know that for sure, right? But I wasn't able to check it out to see exactly what the statistics are on whether or not it can be reversed, right? But I do believe it changes hormones on you a little bit, kind of like hormones are changed in women when they take birth control. The same kind of scenario. But again, I'll give you my take on this in a second.
How old did you say your son was going to be?
We'll say 30.
30?
Yep.
He's a grown man. I'm not going to be telling him what to do with his balls or
Exactly.
anything. Like, you need to wrap it before you tap it. Even if you do have a vasectomy, what if you get an STD or something?
He's
All right.
bars.
My take on it, man, I think it's a sliding scale. The more successful the guy, the more money he has, the more he has to lose, the more vasectomy might be a good choice. But again, it depends on the guy. If the guy's not smashing at all, do you want to do that? And, obviously you can always undo the snip. So it really depends on the individual. And I think the two main variables are his success and how promiscuous he is with dealing with women. I think those two factors heavily influence the decision. It's going to change per person.
Right, but his take, Rolo's take was that to be a high value man, the top 3 steps: avoid family creation, get a vasectomy, and have a network. It's just like the generic male.
Well, so okay. First of all, those 3 steps, 2 of them are the same thing: avoid family creation and get a vasectomy. Go hand in hand. So I don't understand how they're 1 and 2, but whatever, right? what Myron said is true. You know, it's a sliding scale, right? The more money you make, the more you make yourself a target for, you know, there's just a liability there, right? And a lot of these women, you know, could potentially just show up and just be looking for a paycheck, right? And do things to take advantage of you know, you and the possibilities, right? Not saying that you shouldn't be, of course, you should always be, you know, vigilant in wrapping yourself up and, you know, making sure that, but there's always situations that happen. Okay. So now my thing is this: if you're going to have a high net worth, and I'm not saying that only if you have a high net worth should you do this, but you kind of need to have a high net worth to do this. And I heard a woman say this, I can't remember who it was, and it doesn't really matter. But you should, I think it would be a good idea if you go and make deposits in a few different banks, right? Not talking about money, right? We're talking about, right? And you know, East Coast, West Coast, maybe another country, whatever. I don't know. If you trust this, right? This is just the idea, right? If you trust a bank to hold on to your stuff in cryo, you know what I mean, for however long and not use it, right? Not use it for some other stuff. But if you trust that, then you can get the snip, and you should do it as young as possible. Not as young as possible, but like, you know, early on, 20s, 21, 22, 23, whatever it is, right? The time when you're going to make the most mistakes. That's when the snip matters. It doesn't, when you're 30, you know, it's you're less out there, you're in more control of your hormones and like your decisions and stuff like that. So it almost doesn't matter when you're 30, right? But when you're younger, when you're in your 20s and you're going to be a football star, basketball star, you know, you're a young rapper, whatever it is, you're about to make a bunch of bread. It's not a bad idea necessarily to get the snip. But prior to that, go make a bunch of deposits, right? Just like safety deposit box, storing your stuff here, storing your stuff here, storing your stuff here. Then you can, you know, get it snipped, and you can, I don't want to say do whatever you want, right? Because I've heard of guys who, maybe this isn't true, but I've heard of some guys who have gotten it done and still had kids. I don't know if that's really a thing. If it is, you know, let me know in the comments or whatever. But you get it snipped, right? And then you still protect yourself, you know, but you're less likely to have these kind of possibilities to happen. And then, you know, you wait the 10 years, 15 years, however long, until you decide you've already met the woman that you want. You're able to vet her for an extended period of time, right? And know that she's there for you. Not that that's super easy, because they'll change their mind regardless. But you can make the conscious decision, okay, I want to have a child with this woman here. And then you have a couple options. You can go get it undone, right? Which maybe, I don't know, maybe it's 80 some odd percent can be undone. I don't know what the 20, maybe it's 20% can't be. I'm not exactly sure, but you can get it undone. Okay. And then you can proceed with having your kids. And that right there is actual mutual consent, right? Because now you're deciding, both parties are participating specifically to have a child. And if that doesn't work, if the reversing the snip doesn't work, you have these deposits. You can just bloop, bloop. You know what I mean? Your test tube babies or whatever. You can just, hey, doc, I need you to take my woman and put the, you know what I mean? And do what you got to do, right? And again, two willing participants with the same thing. So that would be the way that I would recommend it. But it probably costs a good amount of money to store here and here and here, and you know, go through the procedures and all that stuff. But if you were to do that, now there's almost no way that you're going to have kids without you as a man's consent and her consent, because you both basically have to go to the spot to get the deposit to have it injected. You know what I mean? You got to go through the process, right? So after that, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, that's my take on it. Should every man do it? I mean, you know, you should be able to keep it in your pants, but high net value individuals who are subject to BS and a lot of this other stuff, for sure. And then as the number goes down, you know, maybe you just can't even afford to go there. I wouldn't advise any man getting a vasectomy if you can't make some like deposits first, right? Because if it can't be undone, now you've just screwed yourself out of, you know, passing your genes on down the line, right? And that would suck.
Improvement stuff, but like 2 of the top 3: get a vasectomy and avoid family creation. Do you agree?
Did he say avoid? I don't think he said avoid.
Word for word. Avoid family creation.
It's on Twitter.
Top 3 steps.
I would again, the get a vasectomy part and avoid family creation is kind of like it should be avoid family creation, and one of the ways you could do it is by getting a vasectomy. It shouldn't necessarily be part number 2, but the point is that if you're a young man, if you're in your 20s and you're working, on your purpose, you're doing what you're doing, right? Family creation is the number one sideliner, like left at Albuquerque or whatever, that you can have happen to you. Going to jail is probably this number 2, right? But it's like kids and then going to jail. These are the 2 things that will keep you from achieving your end goals. Not saying you can't still do it, but it makes it extremely difficult when you have to kind of drop what you're doing and solely focus on your family, or you're locked up and you can't do anything, right? Like, so yeah.
Steps to become a high value man.
Okay, I didn't see this tweet. I'll have to take a look at it. But I mean, here's the thing. I think what he means by that is being the most. When he says high value man, he's talking from the perspective of being able to be a playboy and get as many girls.
But why is that a priority over having a family? Like, why would that even be advice? Why would that be a male self-improvement advice? Be a playboy instead of raise a family?
Well,
we
Sneako is forgetting one thing. Like, I like his take, right? It's great because he's, at least, I don't know why, but in this situation, he's promoting having family early on. But what he has forgotten that he used to talk about, right? So that's why I'm like, maybe he's growing and learning or whatever. But we know that most of these girls, a lot of these girls, starting at a very early age, start getting bombarded with all this simp energy, right? All this because you're beautiful, I'll take you here. I want to buy you this. I want to right? So we know that starting at a young age, most girls develop and start having a lot of experience with men. They start understanding what they like. They understand how to move. They start understanding their sexuality and how they can manipulate men and all these things. I'm not saying that they all do it. I'm just saying this is a learning process that happens, super early, right? Because 12, 13-year-old girls start getting hit on by 12, 13-year-old boys. You know what I mean? And then from there, it goes up and up and up and up as they get older and older and older. So and then you have the internet, social media, all these different outlets where women are constantly being bombarded with male attention, right? So they learn how to move with this, right? Whereas the men do not. They don't get that same energy. And so a 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-old man, boy, whatever, 26, 27, 20, through these years, if he's not doing what Myron's saying, then he has no experience with girls. He has no experience with the other sex and how they move. And now they have the upper hand, is how Myron would say it, right? They have the upper hand in this gaming situation. And so you're going in, I can't remember how he explains it. It's like you're going in doing taekwondo with somebody who's a black belt or something like that, and you're a white belt, right? Like that's how he says it, so, which is true. The women of the age bracket that these men would be operating in have a lot more experience with men than these men do with women if they're not actively trying to gain the experience, right? And so then the situation is lopsided and men get taken advantage of and get put in situations where they can ultimately end themselves or depression, like all those things, right? And so that's why Myron always preaches for not starting a family early, not jumping on the first situation that comes your way, and instead getting experience with women, so that way how women move, you understand how female nature is, especially in nowadays in this modern dating age, and so not only do you not allow yourself to be taken advantage of, but you also know what to pick, what qualities are good qualities and what qualities are not good qualities in women, because you learn this stuff. Men are not teaching boys this stuff, and that's the issue. And so because we're not teaching each other this stuff, we have to teach it to ourselves, and that takes time, effort, and you have to, you can't just jump it on the first one. So that's Myron's position, I believe. I've heard him say this stuff enough. So Sneako is forgetting all of this when he's saying, why don't you want to create family early? Like, duh, because you're going to end up creating family with a woman who has more experience than you if you're not experienced, right? And then even if you do get in a situation where you're lucky enough to start, moving through the ranks and progressing financially and professionally and all this stuff, she might just leave you because she's with you for all the wrong reasons, right? Again, more experience than you in that situation.
You make fun of women all day for wanting to be girl boss queens and sleep around and have all this, and then you tell guys, be a playboy instead of raise a family. That's the same advice on the other side.
Because here's the thing: when you're a playboy, you're going to be better at raising the family, and the reason.
But he's saying avoid family creation.
Well, he's saying to be a high value. He's talking from the frame, knowing Rolo because I know him personally. He's talking from the frame of being a guy getting a lot of girls, and then if you decide you want to get a family down the road, you can always unsnip and then go ahead and go down the family route. But in today's day and age, I agree to a degree that you need to have sex with at least 50 girls as a guy. I've talked about that all the time. It's controversial. But the reason why I say that is because most women are more promiscuous than most guys. So if you're a dude and you're getting out here and dating girls and you get your pee-pee wet with the first girl, she could sell you a dream and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is great. So guys got to get out there and be sexually experienced. So he's talking from the frame of being attractive.
I think most guys out here are not going to be able to control their sexual urges. So he's saying
dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The quickest path to becoming a high value man. Do not get married, avoid family creation, vasectomy in your 20s, live consistently, eliminate all sedations, learn game and networking, play to your strengths, build wealth, resist easing up on your focus. He's talking about increasing your value when you're young.
Becoming successful, yeah.
Becoming successful. Yeah.
Avoid family creation and get
vasectomy. Yeah, because when you, because your value doesn't go up until you're built something, and that's typically going to be in your 30s.
So most guys,
that's what he's saying.
What do they focus on? Girls the whole time. He's saying at this point in your career, when you're on the way up, focus on things that are going to help you move forward in life and become successful.
Yeah. And get a surgery done that prevents you from having children.
Yeah, but you can always reverse it.
That's not like a lot of the times that shit messes up. That's not something you could just hope that it's going to be okay.
Generally, most men can't control their urges. So what's going to happen is they're going to go fuck around and get somebody pregnant.
This is how you rise up the path to become high status, because you're eliminating all variables that can fuck you up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's not that I disagree with Myron. I definitely don't. He's absolutely right. If you want to be successful, then it's very difficult to do that when you have a wife and kid in tow. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying especially nowadays, everything costs money. And if you start doubling and tripling your financial output, it's difficult to double and triple your financial input at the same time, especially if you have other commitments, right? I mean, it's when we're talking about this from a dollars and cents standpoint, this is what it should be.
It's about
what he's saying.
Risk mitigation right there.
How many dudes do you know that could have made it to the NBA or could have been a star and an athlete or something that got some chick pregnant?
Yeah.
Like kids a lot of the times ruin dudes' futures because they have kids prematurely. So he's saying this is the path to becoming a high value man. And then once you become that guy,
reverse the vasectomy.
Reverse the vasectomy.
Yeah.
Do you think that's good advice? I mean, that's good advice if your qualifications of a high value man is a guy with a big body count. But it might be I thought.
No. He's talking about increasing your value as a man. You're basically what he's doing is he's retard proofing it.
Yeah.
If you have vasectomy and you bust nuts at girls, you're not going to have a kid, so you're not going to fuck up your future when you're young and you're not in a position to raise that child. That's what he's saying.
We all know what is men's biggest weakness. Women. And as a result, what happens is, what's another factor for not having success? Having a kid too early. That's reality.
That's the number one wealth killer, dude.
Yeah,
kids. If you really look at it, it's the number one wealth killer.
Now, once again, we support families.
Yeah, we do.
But at the same time, for what he's saying to become successful
You
at a young
can't
age,
say that you support families and also tell your audience to get a vasectomy.
We didn't say that. We just said we're
totally defensive about it.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Again, the way that they're describing this makes it a little weird, right? The whole 30 years old and the fact that, we're not talking about, I'm the only one who's talking about storing for the future, right? That kind of thing. Family creation from the man's standpoint is better when it's on his terms, right? If he is able to say, okay, I'm at a place where I'm ready now. And usually it's not about whether or not he's ready, like on the inside to be a dad or like, men, most, especially good men, high value men, you know what I mean? We take whatever comes our way, you know what I mean? We do whatever comes our way, we're going to do it, whether we're ready or not. But from a financial standpoint, it is very easy to say, okay, now is a good time, now is not a good time, right? I mean, if you only got $2,500 coming in a month, man, it ain't a good time. You know what I'm saying? You got $25,000 coming in a month. Hey, it's a great time. And some people might still think it ain't a good time, but it's easier to raise a kid on $25K a month than it is $2,500 a month. That's what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying.
Why you said that?
Do you agree?
I understand why you said it.
You see how you're ducking? You see how you're ducking the
No,
it's a simple question.
It's on me. It's not about me. It's about the generational.
I'm asking your opinion.
No. Sneako, you're funny.
It's just a question.
No.
Bro, we make the girls on the panel answer questions specifically all the time. It's just, do you agree? Yes or no?
Personally, my decision has nothing to do with this discussion. I'm just saying for you, bro.
Politician answer.
I understand why you're saying that.
Yeah, you see, your thing is he's talking about how to become a high value guy. That's good advice.
I have a follow up question for
you're
the
eliminating fuck up bullshit, like shit that will fuck you up.
Can I ask her on the panel now, ladies here? What is your definition of a high value man? We could start with Kara on the couch.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for advocating for that just now. I appreciate a man saying that. But
Well, you dodging like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you.
Wait, what was the title? What was the question? Sorry.
What are your qualifications for a high value man?
Okay.
What's your idea of a high value man?
A high value man is somebody who's successful, who is intelligent, who is hardworking, and who has integrity, and who's a genuine person.
We're gonna let them define it. You're not gonna give them a okay. All right. So their definition of what you're asking them what makes a high value man qualify? Okay.
What qualifies a man as high value?
Okay. Not
I
what
think
they
she answered
qualify. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. So you said what? Integrity. What else?
Integrity, being genuine, man of character.
Yeah, and also being good at what you do. I think too.
Okay. What if he's
okay? Well, successful. We'll just start with that one. Takes a little bit of time, unless you're a crypto pump millionaire. I'm just saying.
good at playing World of Warcraft?
No, like be good at something and in life, like be successful at something in life. Figure out what that is for you, and be impressive in that way.
Okay.
Just to add to what you guys were talking previously, I'm gonna answer the question now. It's just like the example. I forgot his name on the top of my head, but you guys should know the
Let's see here.
famous soccer player from that his I guess he was getting a divorce or whatever, and most of his assets was towards his mom, like all of them. That's something that I would advise my son. Like, hey, if you feel doubts of who you're marrying or
Yeah, I don't know about that. So don't listen to these women. Here's what you do, guys. This is the ultimate way, and sometimes there's always going to be some like legal stuff that you'll have to deal with if things don't go your way. And when it comes to having a kid, I mean, the judge is going to order you to pay child support whether things are in your name or not. However, if you're a man, a high value, high status man, you have a lot of assets or whatever, start a trust. Just open up a trust. Okay. You can be the managing member of the trust, but just open a trust and put everything in the trust, right? Put all your assets, housing, cars, anything worth value in a trust. So that way it protects you personally from liability, right? You can manage all that stuff, meaning you can have access. All that stuff is perfect, right? But if for whatever reason there's a lawsuit breaks out or whatever, it's not yours. It's the trust. And then the cool thing is as things go along, you can decide who the future managing members of the trust are. So let's say you have 5 kids, but only one of them is really, up to the task or whatever. You can make them the managing member of the trust, right? And then they get to distribute things, access, and all that stuff the way that they see fit, and so on and so forth. And so the trust just starts accumulating all of this stuff, and these are how the assets are getting passed down, right? That is one way to kind of insulate yourself from this craziness. Handing everything to your mother, you better know your mama. Your mama better not be the type of woman that put a cell phone bill in your name when you was 5. Okay, like I'm just saying that can't be it.
Or something like that, but you still love them, put everything under my name.
Ha!
That wasn't the question.
No, I know. I just wanted to add to what was being spoken to previously. But what I think a high value man is ambition, integrity, like she said, honesty, loyalty, actual loyalty. And yeah, basically that's it. And hardworking.
Okay.
Very similar to, yeah.
What about you?
Not that different, honestly. Just being like hardworking, family oriented, like being there if we have a child, integrity too, like
These are not the minimums, because he could have all of this stuff and you still want to leave him because he's broke. Like, let's be honest, okay? He got to be bringing home some bacon.
having their being focused on what they want to do in life, just not being all over the place.
So then you get a guy like Kevin Costner who's focused on his acting career, and he ends up 18 years later, wife wants to leave him because he continues to want to direct and make $1,200,000 per episode of Yellowstone. You know what I mean? Or you are a Tom Brady and you're at the peak of your athleticism and career and you're crushing it, and then Giselle Munchin wants to leave you because why? Because you want to keep playing football. Like this is all cap. Like they say that they want this until they've got it, and then once they got it, it's like you're not giving me the feels anymore, and we're not doing all the stuff we used to.
All right.
Okay.
I just want someone that's loyal and genuine and like happy with me, I guess.
Well, maybe don't answer the question about who you want to be with, but what do you think qualifies a man as someone who's high value?
That is high value to me.
Okay.
Like honestly, you just need to be a good person, and I think that's high value.
Is your ex these traits?
Huh?
Is your ex loyal and genuine and a good person?
Was he? No.
So why do you hang out with him?
He's chill.
Because he's chill?
Yeah.
What the okay.
Because I want to. I don't know.
So he's not loyal or genuine or good?
No. Okay. So he's good.
Okay.
He's now genuine, and I believe now he is loyal.
So are you going?
But not before. I feel like people can grow. No.
Okay.
So, never mind. That's fine. Go ahead.
So I would say, like, to me, a high value man is someone that prioritizes like his health. So like health, like as in fitness, just like eating well, like skincare, things like that, and like, of course, like being ambitious, loyalty, communication, honesty.
Okay.
I agree with the health thing because I've met a whole bunch of guys that think that like taking care of themselves is very feminine and they're like very against it and things like that, and it leads to them just being dirty. But I think that a high value man is a man that has a goal in life, and that I like a man with a lot of wisdom. I like men that can tell stories and give advice, and it's actual good advice, and they know what they're talking about.
None of these men are men in their age bracket. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there because we know what they're going to keep saying about what is and what isn't a high value man, right? So let's just remember vasectomy. If you're going to do it, man, store some stuff on the side first, you know what I mean? And spread it out a little bit, right? Just in case, an earthquake happens over here or something like that. You don't want your whole lineage getting wiped out because somebody built their shit on a fault line, But put a little over here, put a little over there, a little over there. Everybody's signing contracts. Everybody's liable or whatever. Then you can get the snip. And, if you can reverse it, cool. And if you can't reverse it, hey, safety deposit box. I'm gonna need you to crack that open. You know what I mean? My woman's ready. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna be a basketball player, a football player, something like that. With that being said, though, if you do it, is that going to change you? Is the hormones going to be like a little off? Your testosterone going to be a little low? Maybe you can make up for it. I don't know. Probably not. But maybe you can make up for it by taking certain things and, exercising right and, making sure. Like maybe there are some things to make up for it. I don't know. You look into it. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my advice. I'm just talking shit. And this could be something that works out for somebody. I don't know. Anyways, hey, y'all chill with Bill. I'm out in this joint. Peace.